The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Heckma Harrison, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It is a Thursday morning here inside the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco and outside at the corner of Ventura and Vineyard in Oxnard, California. That's where the star of this show, Mickey Spagnola, still is. And meanwhile...
Where is he? Where is he exactly?
At the corner of Ventura and Vineyard.
Is that what it is?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Where the Cowboys have called their training camp home for some 19 summers now. And, of course, Everson was a part of those training camp homes for basically a full decade down the road in Thousand Oaks. Down the road in Thousand Oaks.
Is it CLC or CLU?
It's now CLU, California Lutheran University. Used to be California Lutheran College, but you got Bill Jones. You've got Heckma Harrison.
Heckma Harris, my homeboy.
I'm here.
Texas strong, baby.
That's right, and we love welcoming Heckma to the team to keep us straight here. And Everson Walls, who was not here on Tuesday because he didn't get the memo.
I did not get the memo. You guys got to look out for me. Have y'all forgotten? You remember last year? You're supposed to call me.
No, not me. Whose show is it? It's Mick Shots.
If you guys are if you're not here and it's a minute, I'm calling your number. Hey, man, where are you? But I get I don't get that.
They don't reciprocate.
No love, man.
Wow.
No reciprocation at all. But that's okay.
I think it was on Mickey not to let you know that we were getting together on Tuesday. And Mickey Spagnola, I'll let you start things off out there because I know you can't wait to get things started. Looks like it's not as hot and sunny out there today. You don't have the sun shining on your forehead this morning.
Only because Producer Supreme put an umbrella over my head. The sun is out brightly. It's warming up. It's 63 degrees, which is 5 degrees warmer than it was when I woke up, and it was fogged.
You mean Fahrenheit,
right? I do mean Fahrenheit. And I had to take my sunglasses off riding my bike in because it was so foggy. My sunglasses got soaking wet.
Such a tough life,
yes.
Man. Such a tough life. It's
umbrella.
Thank you for really sacrificing yourself the way you are.
I do it every year just for you guys.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, here it's 88 degrees with a high of 96, and Mickey will have a high of about 72 as usual. So much to get to on this edition of the show, as we had the joint practice on Tuesday. What you missed, Everson, on Tuesday morning, we previewed the joint practice, the Cowboys and the Rams, and so now we got to get the review. But to kick things off, since Everson, it's been 6 weeks or so since we've seen you. Let's just find out from Everson what his preliminary thoughts are on this Cowboys team, now more than 2 weeks into training camp and just 2 days away from the preseason opener at the Rams on Saturday night.
Believe it or not, Bill, I have very few thoughts on that.
Okay, that's it. Heckma, you take it away now.
I figured we'd get more than that, but I'm learning a lot about.
We got more questions than we have answers.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay. I tried to pick his brains on some things earlier when he came into the studio.
And you got about the same.
And I got literally the same. I thought it was me, and it's not.
No, you didn't think he'd bring that to the air.
No, didn't think he'd do that, but he did.
He keeps it honest. Keeps it real.
Absolutely, he does. After the joint practice, after watching it, I really felt like the tempo of the practice had changed, especially for the Cowboys, which you've seen them in practice, and when you saw them get into obviously a guy with a different color in front of you. A lot changed. I loved the interview yesterday with Coach Schottenheimer when he was basically saying, look, it was good to get those looks with a team like the Rams that gave them multiple things to think about. So they gave them, hey, when you're scheming up against a team like that, and especially going into this Saturday, gives these guys a lot to consider, especially when you've been going up against your own guys and you've kind of become accustomed and used to those plays. And I know, a lot of guys, hey, they know what's coming. Right. But when you go against the other team, you don't know what's coming. So we saw those changes, and I think it's just going to be an adjustment for this young team.
All right. So, Mickey, what's your takeaway being an eyewitness to what happened on Tuesday in Oxnard?
I basically watched the offense the entire time. So I thought they had some moments, but as I wrote at the beginning of the week, I like all the skill players they have here. The fact that Dak's back, you got CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Kevontae Turpin is starting to show up as a true wide receiver, Ferguson, and that's fine and good. But none of those guys can do what they need to do if the offensive line doesn't play well. And the offensive line did struggle some, especially in the running game. And so it probably should have been expected, at least for this first scrimmage against somebody else. They've been working against a 4-3 defense the whole time here, and the Rams came in with a 3-4. And they got a pretty darn good front, and we can start with Jared Verse, their outside linebacker, who's basically a pass rusher. So I saw a lot of missed assignments, meaning they weren't physically getting beat, but they were mentally getting beat. And there were too many times the running backs were getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. And when that's happening, you're allowing guys to just come through without being touched. So they struggled running the football. And if you look at Brian Schottenheimer's history as an offensive coordinator at different places, one of his calling cards was running the football. So the offensive line's got to improve. But again, if you look at it realistically, Nate Thomas is playing left tackle. He hadn't played in a game since 2023, and it wasn't left tackle.
And it wasn't in the NFL.
Hoffman,
it was at University of Louisiana.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
Mickey.
Wow.
Yeah. Brock Hoffman, who has been playing mostly backup center, now is your backup left guard. And then Tyler Booker has not played against an NFL team with a different color jersey. So there was a lot of young guys on that offensive line getting somewhat exposed for their lack of experience. So I thought Schottenheimer said it best yesterday during his press conference. He said, when you're talking about line play, it's got to be like a symphony. Everybody's got to be on the same page. You got to be orchestrated. And a lot of times they weren't. So we'll see if this improves on Saturday. And the other thing, let's point out, they didn't prepare for a 3-4 defense. They didn't prepare for maybe what the Rams were going to do. They just said, hey, go out there, use your eyes, play your technique, and let's see what happens. Well, they struggled. But when they blocked it, the Cowboys, and this got lost in the shuffle here, the passing game, they were ripping the Rams secondary apart when they gave Dak the proper protection.
Hey, Spags, I was wondering, but you didn't even see the defensive side of it. But, before Bill moved on from my opening statement, I was going to say I have been worried about what's in the trenches for the Cowboys this year. Of course, we have all the stars. We have all the receivers. We got the running back. We got the quarterback, tight ends, and all of that. But where we were getting our butts kicked last year was in the trenches, not just offensively, but also defensively. I don't think we shored ourselves up enough this offseason in regards to girth. We need some big guys down up front. And we seem to go the opposite way. We have more athletic guys than we have guys that can clog up the middle. Were we exposed any at all by the Rams running game yesterday?
They hit some big runs against the Cowboys. But again, I think a lot of it had to do with, not knowing enough about the Rams. There was too many holes for a couple big runs. And again, I'm not sure who was on the field when they did that. But the only spot they got bigger at up front was their 7th-round pick, Jay Toya, who has been somewhat surprising for a 7th-round pick.
Surprisingly
they still
good?
need more out of yes, I think so. And he's getting some snaps. He actually got some snaps with the first team.
Wow.
That'll be a position they need to keep their eye on. They did bring in a veteran guy, Perion Winfrey, who didn't play. I don't remember how much he played last year, if he was hurt. He was in the USFL or the UFL. So he's a little bigger body. They need him to get going if it's going to help in the middle. And then Mozzie, we'll see where he's at. He got a little bit of a knee irritation. The defensive ends, I think, will be pretty strong. Aaron Whitecotton, the defensive line coach, was high and really high in Ezra Roku. As a matter of fact, he was trying to get him to draft him in the first round, not the second round. And I think from a defensive end standpoint, I think they've hit a home run there. Now, he's young, right? But, hey, he led the ACC in sacks last year. He was the defensive player of the year. So he's got something. So that helps. I think Nealon, healthy, is playing well. Fowler's going to be the rotational defensive end, but none of that answers your question because the biggest guy, the most experienced guy they added is Solomon Thomas, and he's basically a 3 technique, not a 1 technique. So we're going to have to see how that position plays out.
I got to say, Spags, I remember when I was with the Giants, and we were pretty good at stopping the run. And the main thing that Diassi and Pepper Johnson were doing, they were closing they were bursting that bubble between them and the offensive linemen. In other words, they didn't leave any gap when it came to running the ball. They were going to make sure and attack those guards right off the bat once they realized it was run. Do we have any linebackers like that right now? How are they playing, not necessarily against the Rams, but how have they been playing all training camp in regards to playing, being able to play downhill against the run as linebackers?
So, Everson, I got to qualify it because, until Saturday, they haven't actually played tackle football, right? It's thumping up, trying to fill the spot. And I thought Jack Sanborn might be a pleasant surprise. He's about the size of Sean Lee. Now, does he have the instincts of Sean Lee? He's shown a little bit of that, and that's what he's going to have to rely on because he's not the biggest middle linebacker. But then again, Kendricks last year, if I remember correctly, led the team with 145 tackles, and he wasn't the biggest linebacker either. Kenneth Murray was really playing well until he missed about a week. He went home for the birth of a child. And so he's just getting back in the swing of things. Leofau, I think, is doing what they're expecting him to do. And then it was 4th round, 5th round draft choice, Shamar James,
5th round,
as a rookie. I think he's caught their eye. So from a linebacker standpoint, if they can at least give them an opportunity, I think they'll be okay.
All right,
and now the other thing I'm going to add, and Everson might or might not appreciate this, but Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, said if we're going to play the run well, the cornerbacks have to tackle.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
No house guests. No house guests. Right? All right, Heckma, let's hear you weigh in on this front seven on defense.
No, I think what Everson brings up about the defensive line is what all Cowboy fans have been talking about. I mean, I think Mozzie Smith and his struggles in the middle of the field, and you see the running game from other. This is what the Dallas Cowboys haven't been able to stop in years, has been the run, and they've needed that guy, that plugger in the middle, basically. And what you're talking about schematically are our guys two-gap guys? Are they shooting the gaps, things like that? And I think that's the excitement that Eberflus brings as a defensive coordinator, because you need to see that change, because when you bring up the linebackers and just going back to last year, it was a struggle. Those guys had, I'm putting it mildly, but it was because, they had these guys, those offensive guards and tackles in their laps at all time. And so if you look, bringing in a guy like Solomon Thomas, having Osa Odighizuwa on a new contract, Perry and Winfrey, the guy that they're talking about, he's 6'4", 290 pounds, but the guy that Mickey was just speaking of, Jay Toya, he's 6'4", 330 pounds.
He's listed at 340.
340,
yeah.
Okay. So a guy like that, it probably isn't very easy to move.
Yeah.
And that's all those linebackers need to have to be able to diagnose and read, right? And so going back to that, I mean, you bring up a team that, and you say, yeah, we were able to stop the run. Well, heck yeah, y'all were. I mean, but all the other pieces that y'all had around were able to shed and get to the ball because guys were not going 10 yards the other way.
Right.
And so that is literally the one thing that Coach Eberflus has to implement with this defense is guys getting upfield. And if you're a two-gap guy, take up that space and don't allow for yourself to be taken back. Yeah. And that's what we've been seeing year after year.
And the other thing, Everson, to remember about Perry on Winfrey is that he's in Oklahoma. So.
Oh, wow. Wow, that got plugged in.
Yeah. So there you go.
Hey, man.
All right.
Well, that settles it.
Ding.
Yeah, you should have a counter.
Wow.
There should be a counter around here.
So there's
somewhere.
one Oklahoma Sooner mention right there.
All right.
All right, when we come back on Mick Shots, more takes from Mickey on what he saw at the joint practice as we get you ready also for the first preseason game of the year, Saturday night. In fact, we've got preseason football tonight.
Yes.
More Mick Shots in just a moment.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
The official 2025 Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine training camp preview is now available. This year's edition features scouting reports, position analysis, a pull-out schedule poster, and articles from your favorite Cowboys writers, Spags. Get your training camp preview today at your local pro shop or DallasCowboys.com/star.
All right. Oh, it's so great to hear the voice of Everson Wells
thank you
on
so
our
much,
reads
sir.
once again.
So I feel at home. I feel
That's
so
right.
at home.
And it sounds like you've been practicing a lot. It was flawless.
Did I need to practice? It sounds like I needed to practice.
No,
I will do better this year,
You don't need
sir.
to practice.
I will do better.
You got that Berkner education.
Yeah, I
right?
got that RISD education. Yes,
there
sir.
you go. All right. Mickey Spagnola, what are they doing out there today? They had a day off yesterday. Is that what? No practice yesterday, right?
No practice,
but not
it
a
wasn't
day
off. So
Yeah.
they had two walkthroughs or talkthroughs, however Schottenheimer describes it. They'll get on the field with a pre-practice walkthrough here in about an hour, or maybe by time we finish here. And then a full practice today. I would imagine they back off a little bit on Friday, though they have a practice scheduled, and then leave for L.A. on Saturday morning. They're expected to arrive at the stadium around noon for a 4 o'clock game.
Okay, very good. And 6 o'clock game Dallas time on Saturday night. Aside from the run defense, Heckma, and from what you're hearing from out there, what is it that coming out of the Tuesday joint practice that caught your eye?
Well, I guess Coach Schottenheimer talked about it. Devontae Adams is still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that. They still have Puka Nacua and other guys out there, and they just look basically playing a vanilla coverage. You're going to get burned and you're going to get shown up, especially in Sean McVay's offense. So some of those things you see, I think for people from the outside looking in, you're just like, oh my God, these are just the same problems that we had last season, because you ended the season on a Terry McLaurin touchdown in the corner. So that's the last thoughts of everyone, right? And so you want to see the secondary get better. You want to see these guys ball hawking, but like Everson Walls said, look, man, nobody's counting interceptions in training camp right now, but you just want to see these guys be able to turn, and pivot and isolate themselves, but also, get to the ball immediately.
Has anyone shown?
Yeah, let's talk cornerbacks
special?
a little bit, right?
Yeah. Anything special? What have they been seeing? Heck or Spags? Have any DBs shown any?
You're going to leave me out of the
skills?
conversation? I was out there for 2 weeks too.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, I didn't.
Bill,
you know what? I do see the golden tan. I'm sorry.
Everybody came back.
That's why he got the camo.
Yes,
on.
absolutely.
So I mean, you tell me.
Well, the concern is the injuries at cornerback right now. I mean, when you don't have a Trayvon Diggs out there, and you don't have the third-round draft pick Savone Revel out there, and the list goes on with other cornerbacks as well. And so these other guys, who's going to be ready September 4th at Philadelphia? But Mickey, who's caught your eye? As Kaiir Elam is one.
I was going to ask you about Kaiir. He was playing pretty well.
Yeah, and of course you got Deron Bland, who did miss some time for the birth of a child, but has been back for a week now, and so you're starting to see it come together a little bit. But Kalen Carson, the 5th-round pick,
I was going to ask you about him.
He's out 4 to 6 weeks, and he battled injuries last year.
Yeah.
Mickey, what are you seeing out of the corners out there?
Yeah, not enough without Trayvon Diggs out there. He's kind of holding that position hostage because he's not ready. And I understand he had a pretty significant surgery on the cartilage in his knee. But he chose not to train, rehab with the Cowboys trainers. He did it, whoever he paid in Miami to stay there and do it. Mm-hmm. So the big thing right now with him, I see him working out. He's starting to re-engage with his teammates, but his conditioning is keeping him out of practice. And I can't get a straight answer on when he's going to be ready. But he's not ready now.
So you're saying it's not his
without,
injury, but his conditioning? Is that what you're saying?
Right now, it's his conditioning, yes. And so they're working him hard, but let's see when he gets on the field. Because without him on the field, here's the dilemma. Their best outside corner on the field now is Deron Bland. Okay? Their best guy to play in the slot right now is Deron Bland. Now,
just playing both places.
I guess he can do I guess he can do both, but if he plays in the slot, who's on the outside? Kaiir Elam has caught everybody's eye.
Yes.
Now, he never really engaged, and injuries had something to do with it, with Buffalo, and why they were willing to trade him. So they need him to really step up on the outside.
Has he been doing
if they're
that?
going to put – he has. Now, I don't know how he played in the scrimmage. I didn't get a chance to see that part. But in practice, he's been the guy on the outside. So that helps. But after that, it's pretty thin. You know, without Diggs out there, you know, they've given Booth an opportunity. They've given Troy Pride an opportunity. Yeah. You probably go out there and cover better than those guys. So
that is not a good sign. That is not a good sign.
The depth at cornerback without Diggs on the field is troublesome, and I think it probably showed up in the scrimmage, and I would imagine it'll show up in the game. Now, here's the other thing. As Schottenheimer pointed out, they played everything they did offensively and defensively was vanilla. As he said, we pulled out a 7-iron and we played 18 holes just using our 7-iron. And I thought this was pretty on the spot because he said, you know, everybody knows what Sean McVay does with their offense and defense. He's been doing it for 7 or 8 years, so he's got nothing to hide. What he does has been exposed. They don't know what the Cowboys are going to do, and he's not going to reveal anything till they get to Philadelphia. So you can count on a vanilla offense and a vanilla defense. And as he said, and we were going to be real vanilla on offense until I got pissed off and I decided we're throwing deep. And that's when Milton hooked up with Jalen Brooks. But they weren't supposed to call those because they didn't want to show anything. And so they said, well, what are you going to do going forward? He goes, we're going to play with the 7-iron until I get pissed off.
Okay, so you have what were the Rams playing with? Were they playing with a 7-iron as well?
They play with everything.
No, they
did they show
Rams.
everything? Did they show everything?
They had nothing to hide. They didn't have nothing to hide.
Because people have scouted, they know what Sean McVay does on offense, basically, is what he's saying.
I know what he's saying. Yeah. That was the question.
My question is, you know, when Mickey says that Trayvon Diggs is holding the secondary hostage, that is, that's hot off the press.
When did Diggs get hurt?
Last year.
I know, but what time of this? You know, what
it was at the end of the year. He ended up on IR, and they had to do a surgery. And I'll just explain it.
In January.
He had like a divot in his cartilage, and they had to pack in some replacement for the cartilage that had the hole in there.
Man, these
and you know, and let's look at it this way. He had a workout clause in his contract, right? That if he didn't do 80% of the work with the Cowboys at the facility, he was going to get docked $500,000 off his base salary. He was willing to lose $500,000 not working out with the Cowboys. Okay,
that's a lot of money.
And so
I don't care how much money you're making. That's a lot of money, man.
The reality of the situation sits in quickly, doesn't it?
A lot of money, bro.
Did I emphasize the $5,000? $500,000, right? And here's the other thing. He's got a per-game bonus in his contract where if he plays in all 17 games or is active for all 17 games, he's going to make another $1 million. So every game he is not active, he's going to lose out on $58,000 a game. So not only did he not work out, if he's not ready to start the season, now he's not getting deducted money. He's losing the ability to make
potential
more money.
I get it.
But
here's the thing, Spags.
But here we are.
He's not going to be ready. He's not going to be. If he just got hurt at the end of the season last year, they didn't expect for him to be ready for the season this year, did they?
Oh, no, they expected him to be ready.
They did. Off of a ACL injury.
It wasn't an ACL.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't an ACL.
No. What was it?
It was cartilage.
It was cartilage, but it was a special surgery that Mickey explained that I wasn't listening to.
Yeah. They packed the cartilage.
You and Heckman over here writing notes to each other while I'm trying to do some business up here with Spags.
I'm admiring.
Heckman's looking at my flip cards for the preseason game on Saturday.
Okay.
While professional broadcasters would do it on a computer and everything, I do it old school,
handwritten.
and I handwrite everything.
So just so you know,
he was trying to dissect what I've written on my flip card, and so he wrote a little note to me. And
these are his spotter boards for the game, and I told him that his spotter board looked like a Cheesecake Factory menu. So
that's right.
That's what
I'm the only one who can read it. So it does no good.
Grand luck.
That's why.
Like a grand luck.
Exactly. What is this? How do you do that?
That's why I don't. Mickey is my spotter on most of these preseason games.
Yeah.
And the reason Mickey can't spot the players is because he can't
read it.
He can't read my flip card, my spotter board, in order to find who made that tackle. And so it's no fault of Mickey's.
You got to digitize that, man. You got.
No, I can read it.
Okay.
That's all that's important.
That's all that matters.
That I can read it.
Sorry, Spags. I didn't mean to.
Okay, we digress.
Guys over here playing grab button.
You digressed, yes.
All right, when we come back here, we had the assistant coaches talk to the media for the first time yesterday, and I'm going to assume Mickey Spagnuolo was doing his job and was in on those interviews, and we need to hear his takeaways from some of those assistant coaches when we come back on Mick Shots in just a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal, writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide, because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here, and limited tickets are available now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host NFC East rivals Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
See any easy marks on that home schedule there?
I did not. Maybe Giants. Maybe Giants. We might be the easy.
It might be circling us.
Right. Yep, that's my stat day.
All right, our third and final segment on this episode of Mix Shots. Let's kick this segment off with Heckma posing a question of Mickey in Oxnard, California.
Well, I thought it was interesting when Mickey is talking about Deron Bland, and I think Deron in a contract year, the position flexibility may be not adding to his value as a player. When what I mean by that is nickel corners don't make the same that the guys on islands make. So they've been playing, even in OTAs, he's been playing the nickel a lot. And so, in an environment where you're trying to add and get more money, I see that as something that may be a hindrance to him as an athlete. We know how good he is. He set NFL records, for returns on interceptions. And I just wanted to know from you, Mickey, have you heard anything about that? Any whispers of that from Deron Bland's camp, or just talking about how that may affect him when he comes to sign?
Let me throw this in here before you answer that, Mickey. I'm thinking that I wouldn't be surprised if Deron Bland doesn't go into a contract year this year. In other words, they get something done here. Just a thought.
Would not surprise me either, and that makes him more valuable. Remember what Barber did in Tampa Bay? In base defense, he played outside corner. When they went to nickel, he played inside. So you can do both, and I think doing both makes you even more valuable to this team.
I agree with you on that one, Spags. I did the same thing.
Think about it. Not every outside corner can go into the slot.
Tell me about it.
And play.
And I think the fact that he'll be playing rundowns on the outside, base defense on the outside, and then able to switch inside on the slot. I think that just gives him another bullet in his gun. I truly believe it makes him more valuable as opposed to less valuable because he's able to do both. What it does, it brings an opportunity for another player who may not be able to play the slot. It gives him an opportunity to stay away from his weak spot and be able to play outside like most base corners are accustomed to doing. I had to do it as I got older, and the guy from Tampa, he had to do it as he got older as well. So coming in able to do that is
it was Rondé Barber,
yes,
right?
Yeah, coming in, being able to do that at this time of his career is a bonus because most of us don't. We're forced into it. Later on in our careers.
All right.
I think how they line up, Bill, on Saturday, they've been using Keeman Hall quite a bit in the slot. So that's an opportunity for him to kind of show what he can do. And I talked to Kaiir Elam about the slot, and he said, he has done both. He said he did both at Florida, but they've primarily used him as one of the outside guys because they're without Diggs there. They're pretty thin at outside cornerback.
And let's in case I'm sure a lot of fans understand the difference between that slot and being the base corner. When you play the corner in base defense, then you always have alignments that you can count on to give you a tip-off on what the offense is trying to do and what the wide receiver is trying to do against you. If you're lined up too close to the sidelines, then you can kind of, as a defensive back, you can play further inside, things of that nature. If he lines up tight, then you can look for him to possibly setting up something for going across the field. Basically, what I'm saying is the positioning of the wide receiver on the outside, it depicts what they might be trying to do when they run routes. But when you get at the slot area, when you're playing slot defense, that wide receiver has the entire field to work with. And that can be concerning for DBs because there's no tip unless you really study hard. There's no obvious tip on what route this wide receiver might run based on alignment. When you're lined up in the slot, you can go anywhere the hell you want to go as a wide receiver.
So Everson, if is it harder to double the receiver in the slot than it is on the outside?
It is not. As a matter of fact, you can disguise it very well as long as you and your safety can be creative on how you can disguise. So, no, a double from the slot to me, and especially the fact that that's your number one receiver on most third down passes and plays, that slot position can get you in trouble, as we saw the Cowboys do against Green Bay. You know, when you know that CeeDee Lamb is on the move and he's making that move as a slot receiver, they jumped it right away from the double team. They had somebody waiting inside while the cornerback that was covering him played the outside. And, of course, that resulted in the pick six for Green Bay Packers.
Okay, Mickey, assistant coaches talked yesterday. Give me one assistant coach that you listened to that caught your ear.
Well, a couple. We can start with Connor Riley, the offensive line coach. He was talking about how Tyler Booker needs to just go out and play football. He said he's trying to be too perfect, and he's trying to think too much. He just needs to cut it loose is one of the things he said. And the other thing about Nate Thomas, he said he's got the tools. Now he has to believe he has the tools and play with more confidence. One of the things that I know it's not an assistant coach, but talking with Nate in Frisco, that Thomas needs to play more with his arms. He was letting the defensive ends get into his body, and he's trying to play with his shoulders. He said he needs to get his arms out. He's strong enough to be able to hold guys off, and you can direct him that way. So that was one thing I saw about that. Aaron Whitecotton is pretty sharp, the defensive line coach. And I think the more people hear from him, the more they're going to say, okay, they ended up with a really, really top-notch defensive line coach. And, you know, his deal is making sure that, you know, their guys are attacking but doing their assignments. And let me tell you one thing I learned about him. You remember when the Cowboys brought in the former players to watch practice that day? Was it an OTA or
I think Everson was one of those players, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
we have a
forgot
legend
which
in our
one
midst,
which practice.
Yeah.
He don't remember.
And Larry Cole, the former Cowboys defensive tackle, we were talking, and he said, hey, this defensive line coach, he goes, I sat in the meeting, and he goes, I like this guy. He said, you know who he reminded me of? Ernie Stautner. And I said, whoa, that's a pretty big compliment for a guy that was a defensive line coach, defensive coordinator for so long, and as a player is in the Hall of Fame. You're gonna like this Whitecotton for sure. I listened to a little bit of David Overstreet, the secondary coach, and he was talking about how he can't stand when receivers catch a ball. He goes, I don't want anybody to catch a ball. And he goes, when my guys let somebody catch a ball, I get pissed off. And so I said, whoa, that's a different approach to coaching the secondary. But that's how aggressive he wants his DBs to be able to play the ball. And that's one of Matt Eberflus's deal. And they felt like they didn't play the ball enough to get takeaways in that scrimmage. So I'm sure if you do that too much, you probably get burned once or twice. But if you're playing the way you're supposed to play and cover, then I think that's probably would be a good sign. So, you know, they attacked us 4-on-1 in my case because I'm by myself and they had four guys talking at the same time.
Okay, we've got 1 minute left. I asked Mickey for one coach, and he gave me 3.
Yeah, he did.
But we got 1 minute left. We got a preseason game on Saturday night. And so I want to go around the horn real quickly, and one player that you want to see on Saturday night. Heckman, you want to go first?
I'm going to start with our rookie first-round draft pick, Tyler Booker. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited to see him. I think that he can bring a dynamic to this offensive line. After losing Zach Martin, our offensive line has struggled, and we couldn't get the run game going. And having a piece like him, I think, really will help this offensive line in totality. The injuries right now for the offensive line are starting to mount up, and that's what's making me nervous right now for the group. But just seeing him, that's what I want.
Everson, you got one?
Second rounder. I don't know how to say his name. What's his name?
Izaraku.
Donovan Izaraku.
Usually that's Bill's job, but thank you. Izaraku.
It's fun to say once you learn how to say it.
Cool. Izaraku, I want to see if that motor can continue to work. I want to know if he's going to be that guy to where you say when he comes on the field, he's going to leave it all out on the field. I want to see if he's that guy.
All right.
If you get MVP, defensive MVP of the ACC, then you're doing something.
That's special.
Ezaraku, number 41. Booker, number 52. Mickey, who's your guy?
Number 20, Khair Elam. They really need this guy to be a player even when Diggs comes back. And by the way, you remember we covered his dad, Abe Elam. He was out here the other day, and he looked good enough in shape that they could put him out there to
Well,
cover
there you
somebody.
go. That could solve some of the problems there in the secondary. All right.
We can add Dad to the roster.
That's right. Yeah, he's a little
And
younger
Bill,
than
who's your
Everson.
guy?
My guy's number 10, Joe Milton.
Oh,
Joe
okay.
Milton, he's going to be the star of the preseason. The thumb is good to go. And as the broadcaster of the games, I want Joe Milton to play as many snaps as possible. We're not going to see Dak, right? He hasn't made that official.
I doubt it.
Okay, Joe Burrow's playing for Cincinnati tonight, and around the league, there's a difference of opinion on whether you play your starters. Anyway, all right, we're done for this edition of Mix Shots. Enjoy the game on Saturday night, and
We
we'll
will be back
on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. Is that what we're doing? Or Monday and Wednesday next week?
Friday.
No Friday.
Monday, Wednesday next
Monday
week.
and Wednesday.
We leave on Thursday.
Okay, very good. So you're a week away. You've almost conquered it, Oxnard. Mickey? Yeah, so he's speechless. Finally rendered him speechless.
All right. I think they cut him off.
That's right. Yeah. Producer Supreme cut his mic. I love it. All right, because he knows that we got to be done. He's got another show. We got the break coming up at the top of the hour, and we'll see you next time, 11 o'clock Dallas time on Monday on Mix Shots.
Oh, Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. How about this,